Taste of Dragons Gaming Podcast. We eat sandwiches and play games. Taste of Dragons Gaming Podcast. A podcast for everyone's taste.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to yet another episode of Taste of Dragons, the Toddcast, the video game podcast that all you turkeys listen to. And this week, we're talking PowerWash Simulator with this month's Adventurers Club. The news is setting records. And finally, we're talking about Friendsgiving, everyone. And as always, my name is Brian.
My name is Troy.
Amanda.
And I'm Joe.
Hey, no Hassel today, unfortunately. We set back recording just for him, but it's fine.
He's been
It's
claimed. He was claimed by Thanksgiving.
He was. So
Would
that
it
happens.
really be a holiday if we didn't start with just a little bit of guilt?
Just a little bit.
A little bit of guilt.
But yeah, unfortunately, no Hassel. But we're still going to talk about our Friendsgiving, everyone, a little bit later on. It's going to be a lot of fun. But let's start with this week's question. And my question for you all this week is, do you guys have a favorite food that you like to eat on Thanksgiving?
Ooh, that's a hard one.
It is. Is like a specific food? Like, does somebody make something very, very specific that you like to eat? Or is it like something generic, like mac and cheese? Because that's what it is for me. It's just mac and cheese.
My answer is stuffing, but like stuffing is such a subjective dish.
Yeah, that's
like,
so
what
varied. Yeah,
even is stuffing?
it's something
I don't
you
know.
put in a turkey. You stuff it.
That's all it is. But
Really anything.
you could do anything, and we could put anything in a turkey.
Yeah.
You could put a turkey in a turkey.
You could.
Mm-hmm.
You could.
My mom has a beef-based stuffing.
Yeah, cracker.
Crackers. She does something with
Ooh.
thyme that I'm not exactly sure which, and then there's other stuff.
Aromatics are
I
important.
couldn't. I
It's a
can't
mystery,
pinpoint
which
it.
is good for
Yeah,
stuffing.
but I've been having it my whole life. It's definitely a highlight. My mom's a little older in years, so it's getting, she's got to put a little more prep into it, and get a little help here and there to do it right. She was planning on making the stuffing this year, and she was going to do it the day before. She asked my sister, she's like, hey, I need help like stirring this. My sister had plans. She's like, I'm able to do stuff. Immediately, as soon as my sister was relating the story about, she's like, I thought I had some plans. Man and I were both like, well, we'll come over. She needs to fine, but as long as the stuffing is made.
It's like, you have plans when she needs to make the stuffing?
That's okay. Have your plans. We'll come in. We will sub in right now.
Also, like,
as long
what
as it gets
plans
done.
could possibly be more important than the stuffing? And she's like,
Sure.
oh, yeah, I rearranged my schedule. It's like, oh, no, you are right.
So, we pull out all the stops. You guys can actually try some later if you want. We have some leftovers.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's pretty
Yes.
good.
Yeah.
Someone
pretty good.
also makes good stuffing, and that someone is Joe. The Joe fried
Oh my
stuffing
gosh.
we were talking about it in the car ride home. I was like, part of me wants to be like, Joe, you should give me the recipe, and another part of me is like, never tell me what's in that, because if you could imagine, like, and this is, I hope this is a compliment, if you could imagine like really good Thanksgiving stuffing and like the best risotto you've ever had in like one dish,
that's a great
it's
compliment.
like
Nice.
Yeah,
that is the flavor profile.
Your stuffing's got a good mush.
It
Yeah.
does. It's
Got some mushroom in there,
Oh,
I
I
think.
love mushrooms, yes.
Ooh.
We reheated it over charcoal today. We'll talk about that in a little bit. But like it added
Yeah.
like an extra to it, which is fantastic.
Stuffing, That's stuffing times 2 right now.
Yeah, double stuffed.
I don't think I've had your stuffing before,
Really?
Joe.
What?
I don't think I have.
Wow.
Because we haven't like gotten together after Thanksgiving in a long time.
Yeah, it has been a while.
Sure.
It's true.
But there has always
Yeah.
been Joe fried.
I've missed
I
it.
usually make a batch every single year just for the Friendsgiving. So, and I keep it aside so I don't bring it to anybody else's house. So there's always like a decent bowl, but it's still just a bowl. It's
still
not,
just a bowl.
it's a decent amount, but it's
Maybe
still
I had it
good.
a very, very, very long time ago.
Probably.
But it was very good today. It was very good. It was very good.
Good. Well, thank you, friends. I too am a stuffing person, actually. I think it used to be turkey itself because I really don't eat turkey that often. But I think I love stuffing in general, and like all kinds, like not just mine. Like my recipe is a hybrid of my mother's and my great grandmother's, and I never knew what my great grandmother's recipe was, but my grandmother told me she'd tell me what it was, and then she passed away. So I was like, and I didn't get her recipe books, so I was like, somebody's got them. Somebody in the family has them. It's like I want to know what actually was in hers and see how years I've taken to try and go back to what she used to make, and I will happily give anyone the recipe. It takes forever to make, so it's one of those like it's just it's a lot of time and love. You just put a lot of love into it. That's really the basis of it. But it's a lot of different things that go into my stuffing. But I am a stuffing person. My mom's stuffing is phenomenal. I like regular bread stuffing. like normal stuffing that goes in a turkey, like the stovetop. Like
Yeah,
I'll
that's what my
eat,
family
like almost
does.
any
Yeah.
kind of
I
stuffing.
mean, they don't do
just like
stovetop,
it.
but it's very
Right.
And
Like,
yo, I don't want to discount love, but you also need technique. Because, like, look, I had a green bean casserole that I put so much love into last year. I might say a little too much love.
You did smother it with love.
Garlic.
that's love.
Because I was
That's
making the
definitely
recipe and I was just having such a good time. I was like, nah, how about we put a little bit of this? A little bit of that. I was just like the
He was
love.
way off book. Yeah.
I was so off book from the recipe, but the love was there. The results,
I imagine it was probably still fantastic.
Maybe not. Troy also made green bean casserole this year, and it was a big hit.
I followed the book. I added
Okay.
a little more soy sauce, almost, just a little extra, just a
All
little
right.
extra tap to that soy sauce this year.
I have found that over the years, the reason that I think a lot of the things that I make are slightly different than most people is that I don't cook with salt at all.
Get outta here.
Yeah, there's no salt in my stuffing. The only salt that you get from my stuffing or from anything that I cook is with the ingredients that I use if it has a base of salt in it
Okay,
already.
like the meat or something
Yeah,
or whatever.
if it's a sausage,
Yeah.
if it's something
Yeah, yeah.
that has a salt profile to
Cool.
it. Like breadcrumbs have salt.
Yeah,
in
there's
them
just no
already.
additional
There's
salt.
no additional salt. Like
Good.
I can't. My dad couldn't have salt. So
Right.
my mom and I learned my cooking from her was just she could never salt anything. Salt always had to go in at the very end, which is very weird for some things because salt brings out the flavor and changes chemically how you cook things a lot. So we found ways to get the same types of flavor profiles by using other ingredients that would be healthy choices of it, but not salt. So I find it weird all the time. I'm a big fan of cheese.
Yeah.
So I will
yeah.
find very heavy, sharp cheeses to use. That will be the salt factor. Bring it in at
Yeah.
the end, and then it brings it's so good.
Nice.
Heck
nice. I did love how you guys was like it was all stuffing. Because that's all
Okay.
very subjective.
So I do really enjoy my stuffing,
Sure.
but I have to say that the turkey is my favorite.
Oh, yeah?
Specifically
Nice.
the dark meat of the turkey,
Yes.
because normally like I can get meat throughout the year, but very rarely do you get like the good meats, the darkest of meats. My dark meat goes to the turkey legs, the little turkey wings, little dark
Turkey
meat bits.
thighs.
Yeah, thighs.
Yeah.
Ooh.
So
They make
good.
like the best sandwich pieces of the dark meat.
Yeah.
How do you, since you've had both, how do you feel comparing Thanksgiving turkey legs versus like a Renfest turkey leg? Is it the same? Are they
I feel like it's
Yeah.
mostly salt.
the secret?
The
is
Red
salt.
Fest turkey legs are like, I mean, but you're going, they're like carnival turkey legs.
Right, they're huge.
So they're
Yeah.
very large, but also like they're being made next to the deep fryer with
Yeah.
the potato chips and the, double fried Oreos and stuff.
Yeah.
So like you would expect a certain amount of grease and salt on that,
Right.
and you get it, and it is perfect for its environment. But Thanksgiving is more about like basting and time, and like they're not churning
Right,
those
right.
out. You've got like a lovely
Slow cooking that bad
slow
boy.
cooked turkey leg. Yeah.
It's
Okay,
true
okay.
because I think they're smoked a lot of the time too.
Oh, yeah.
I love turkey legs. So if we go
Yeah.
anywhere and there's the option for a turkey
It's
leg is
good,
there, I'm
yeah.
like, how much is that turkey leg? I don't care. Just take my money. I want a turkey leg. But I'm with you though. The
And then you
Renfest
sometimes
one-
get disappointed.
I get very disappointed sometimes because sometimes they're like super dry or
Yeah.
they're super like
Been
where they
there too
have
long.
like the tendons are not it's
Yeah.
been smoked but like all of the fat tendons that are on the inside of it are too hard still.
Yeah, I've been spurned by turkey legs to the point now I'm like, I don't know. I
They
don't
get
know.
me.
How
They get me
how
every time.
dirty do I want to get?
Yeah.
Bingo.
How messy?
Yeah. Maybe I'll try one next year.
Roasting turkey's really fun. It's really, really, really fun.
So all of this conversation has been about Thanksgiving. So for our international clientele, substitute Boxing Day.
Exactly.
Yeah.
There you
That's exactly what it is.
Sweet.
Exactly. But thank you guys for answering my question. But now that brings us to
What was your answer?
mac and
Mac and
cheese.
cheese.
Oh, I missed it.
That's okay. I started at the very beginning. I was like, mine's just mac and cheese. It's fine.
It was such like a non-answer to me.
Yeah.
I just went. So I'm so sorry.
Yeah, that's fine.
I
Mac
feel
and
like
cheese is. I feel like you need some mac and
You
cheese at the table.
do.
It balances
Yeah, I
out the
agree.
meal. Yeah.
You're right.
It does.
But I think
You're
mac
right.
and cheese is just as different
Diverse,
as stuffing.
yeah.
and
It's
diverse.
exactly
Yeah.
is.
Because
Yes.
like there's a lot of kinds of mac and cheese that I have found over the years that I do not like. I apparently just like garbage mac and cheese. I like Kraft.
Cheesier.
I like a Kraft mac and
Like
cheese.
Yes.
Yeah.
that's what I like. And if someone put tons of love and they like all the cheese is like awesome and it's amazing and I'm like I don't care. I don't want that. I want garbage mac and cheese.
Nah, I like that.
I want
Like casserole type.
I like al dente pasta. Like I like it to be like a little hard. So a lot of places we go, they'll do like the baked mac and cheese, but then you lose the al dente. Like I want it. I want the crispy. Yeah. I don't want. So I mean,
I like the
all
mush.
mac and cheese is good, but yeah, I feel like I'm more on the spectrum of like a lightly
You
cooked
want to
crab
crunch your macaroni.
drowning in
Whoa.
Velveeta.
See, the cheese is not the problem. I don't care what cheese you want to put on that mac and cheese. There's just something about like macaroni that's been, or any kind of pasta that's been like overly.
Yeah.
It's sat in too much liquids for too long, and I'm with you entirely. But I agree with you. Mac and cheese is amazing.
It is. And yeah, you're right. Everybody does it differently somehow. But yeah, let's go into since this is the very last week of the month.
It is.
Let's do our Adventurers Club.
So we're gonna go out and we're gonna put on our little backpacks and we're gonna roll up our maps and put them in the map cases and we're gonna put on our adventuring boots.
I got a
and
pickaxe.
Our pith helmets, and we're gonna start climbing the mountain of adventure.
Did anybody bring tacky?
No, but I have some Tums.
Yum.
I have a question. So
Yes.
Tacky, is that the type of chips, or is that?
I always thought it was some type of like hard mountain.
You mean
almost
hardtack?
like jerky? Yeah.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
I went to like Tacky Blue Fire like potato chip things, like the.
Oh, I immediately went to that blue stuff that teachers used to put on the walls to hang up
Oh,
posters.
yeah.
I was just yes-anding Troy's bit.
I love
babe.
everything about this. I just had questions because I went to like Blue Fire potato chips. Why would you want hot potato chips to go up the mountain? And then I thought to myself, am I an idiot and I've never bought Blue Fire potato chips up a mountain on a hike?
Look.
I mean,
best thing
we're going
ever?
for an
Look.
adventure.
Yeah.
I could have said hardtack, but if we were
okay.
role playing as adventurers, then it's call it by its slang term as we do.
tacky.
Just tacky, you know? Just
love
casual about it. So get that
I
tacky, let's
agree.
go.
H-tack.
Get that H-tack.
H-tack.
You've been playing a lot of Cyberpunk, haven't you?
I have.
Equip the H-tack.
But yeah, this month we're going to be talking about PowerWash Simulator. I think 2022.
It's just PowerWash
just PowerWash
Simulator. It's
Simulator?
the first
Okay.
of its name.
All right.
The grandest adventure of them all.
Yeah.
Power washing.
For those who may be catching up, Adventurers Club is where we all play one game for the entire month. So this was our November game.
Correct.
And every month we pick a new game. We all play it, kind of like a book club. And then at the end of the month, we all talk about it. So here we are, PowerWash Simulator. How would y'all think? How'd it go? How'd it go for y'all?
Well, man,
Do y'all wash
from what I
some
know,
power?
you went like hard into this.
I went deep. I enjoy these types of games. I played the house flippers and I played castle flippers, and any game where you just have a repetitive motion over and over again and it makes something better in the end. I will play background style. You know what I mean? Where you play it, but you listen to something, or you play it, you do something, or you play it and you watch your husband play God of War or something. You know, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But I did play a lot of this game. And I can say, as someone who has power wash things,
Yes.
very realistic.
Very realistic.
Very, very realistic.
It has that good feeling of like, if you just really lean in, you'll get that spot. And just like really, grrr.
What did y'all play it on?
I played it on PC because the last Adventurers Club game I played on a console, like a pleb. And then I greatly regretted it because it was clearly a PC game. So this one I was like, I'll flip it and I'm going to try the PC first. And I feel like it would have been good either way. But
I played it on console, and I thought it'd be fun to play on console because like a power washer, it kind of has like a trigger, and like the game controller has a trigger. So I was like, all right, let's do this. And it did feel good. It like the power washing did feel good once I could understand how to like move around and how to like work the camera angles so that I wasn't like hurting myself. Or like straining my thumbsies. It was feeling good for a while until it literally started hurting my hands because I was squeezing down on this trigger for
and
like
you have haptic feedback.
an
so
hour.
there was
There
some
was a
pressure
little
on
bit
that,
of
yeah.
a vibration happening. I started using other fingers and hands and like turning the controller over to like find different ways to not hurt my hands because I was just holding it down for hours. I played this game for hours,
Yeah.
hours and hours.
And then
I figured out there's an auto. There's an auto
there's-
stream
yeah,
button.
there's a toggle.
There's
Yeah.
a toggle.
Yeah.
so you don't have to hold the button down at all.
I'm not real dumb.
They thought about it. Strangely enough, Troy and I had a similar experience because Troy was hurting his hands. Well, I was playing Power Washing Simulator, and I if you've never power washed before, you just make little lines back and forth to make sure you don't miss a spot, or at least that's my method.
Or if you're me, you draw a happy face.
yeah, and then back and forth until it's all gone. But with this game, that meant that the camera was going right and then left and then right and then left and then right and then left. And I made myself so nauseous I had to take a nap. And then I was like, I can't play this game anymore, which is a bummer because I'm kind of enjoying it. And then Troy's like, you don't have this button? And I was like, what button? And there's a button that makes it so you stand still and just the power washer moves back and forth. And I was like, ugh. So both of us had
painful moments.
Experiences.
But then we overcame them.
I still did that as well with you. I was also there with you because even with that, oh no, it was difficult for me because I also played on the PC. Joe played it on the console. She played it on an Xbox.
I played it on an Xbox. But I walked over to what Brian was playing it, and I was watching the screen go back and forth because of the way the camera works. And I was like, oh, this is very disorientating. This is not calming like power washing is at all. Like I love power wash. Like if you hand me a pressure cleaner and I will go outside and just like I will draw things into the sidewalk and then I will make them go away. And I just live for that. It's like it is a very calming thing. But I was watching Brian and I was like, I don't know if I should play this game. Like I'm gonna get very like my eyes started just like, no. So then I started playing it on the console, and I immediately found the button where it was just move the power washer.
Yeah.
But I found that actually moved slower on the console than it did.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, it's so slow.
It's way slower.
I had no idea. And I was playing this game. I think I started playing this game a few hours before you hopped in. So I was taking forever to clean this dumb playground. And then, like, Amanda started it, and she finished it. And I was like, what are you doing? I look over her screen. She's just, like, zipping all around. I'm like, oh, my God.
That was the problem with me, though. I felt like I was going too fast, which is why I was getting that.
Yeah.
And then, like, when Joe was there, Joe's like, I don't know how you can play this. I was like, all right, let me try a different way of doing this. So I did, like, because you have the different nozzles, so you can do like the 15 degrees, you know, all the different
ones. Which is a real cool feature.
Yeah, because that's actually
nozzles.
real.
Yeah.
And so
do I want a wide area, but I go over it more times, or do I want a narrow area, and I go over it once?
Exactly. So I was like, all right, let me go up to a 45-degree one, which is like, you know, much. It takes a little bit longer, but it takes. So I took my time while I was spraying it instead of just going really quick back and forth. I was like, all right, let me do it, and it took like maybe twice as long to do that area. But I was like, this is much better. this is much better. But yeah, so for myself, I don't know how long you guys played this game for. I played this game
so many hours, man.
I got to the fire station.
Oh, okay. All right. I played this game for about I want to say about 3 or 4 hours.
What
I
level
did
was it?
I did the garden, and then I did a bunch of the special missions.
Oh,
like
okay.
Cars
Yeah, I didn't
and
do any of the
motorcycles.
specials.
Yeah,
The special was like the moon lander and the
I did the
do
Mars
those.
lander, which had a very funny little like side secret hatch that you had to clean, which is very funny.
Oh, okay.
And then I did some time trials because I wanted to do a little bit of everything. And so that's what I did because I felt like when I got to the garden was fine.
Yeah.
But it really was that patio, just that forever long, just you facing down and having to, because the sweeping back and forth motions was fine when you're doing like a fence or something like that, when you're looking up, but when you're looking down, it tends to go in a circle.
Yeah.
And it's just like, no, I just want to go back and forth and not in a circle. And that was really frustrating to me as far as the patio portion of it went.
The thing that I found, and I think Troy also did this, the really fun about the patio is there was a lattice fence, and you cleaned one side of the lattice fence, and if you walked around, you could see the pattern of the lattice fence on the ground, where it cleaned bits of the pathway, but not all of it. And I was like, that's a good detail. I'm enjoying that. I like that.
It was.
This game, it did exactly for me what I thought it was going to do, where it was just like kind of mundane, turn your brain off stuff. What was weird for me is that I went a couple hours playing this, and then I was like, all right, this is like perfect, like put on a podcast. This is exactly what I want. And I will zone out and just do this thing. And then an hour went by, and I was like, I haven't put on a podcast yet. I should really do that. And then another hour goes by. Like, it was so mind-numbing that I couldn't even, like, keep a thought in my brain.
There's no music you're going to miss.
No.
So, like, if you're going to play this, I would, to Troy's point, put on a soundtrack or a podcast or something.
I literally did what I do when I power wash. I put music on, and it's like one song, and it just plays.
Yeah.
And then I wish I had lowered the TV sooner, because the sounds it makes are very encompassing of a like a pressure washer.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it was very after a good like 15 minutes, I was like, oh, I don't think I like this sound. I should probably just make the music louder instead of just lowering the television. 'Cause that would have, been smart. But I decided I was going to duel the television like I would do in real life. With my headphones.
Hey,
You wanted the
it is a
experience, yeah.
simulator.
It
is.
Right? Man and I got to try co-op. It is crossplay, so she was on PC, I'm on Xbox, and we were able to still make it work.
Cool.
And it was pretty neat, I thought.
Yeah, it was
I
fun
hopped
to work
into
on
her
something
game.
together, yeah.
Where there was like a haunted house level.
Yeah, it was
that was
cute.
pretty fun.
Yeah, I liked it.
And the whole premise of it was cute. It was just a regular house, and the idea there were people inside that were like, hey, thinking that may be haunted. So in the game, you would get like text messages. You have like a phone, and it's some people like either giving you more jobs or your friend checking in with you, or status updates on the job itself. So as you're cleaning this haunted house, you're getting messages from people that are inside, talking to like your boss or whatever, or not your boss, like your friend or whatever, being like, hey, I hear noises coming from the roof. When you're the
It's
one
just
actually
you
on the roof.
practically in the house.
And you're actually making them think it's haunted, but you're just power washing from the outside. They're like, it's like a shh sound, like it's a ghost. I thought that was cute. But the mechanics were great. It's exactly what you think. It's 2 power washers. You're doing the same job. It's not easier. It's not harder.
It's just faster.
It's just a little faster. You can coordinate.
The only downside I saw is that if Troy joins my game, and let's say we just started a mission together, we do the whole mission, he leaves, it's not done at all on his side. So I was like, I don't want to pressure wash the same house twice.
Yeah.
That
Like,
did mess up the momentum for me, because I think at that point I was, as far as the levels, I had started like hours earlier, so
Yeah.
I was ahead of you. But then I jumped in your game, finished yours, and then I went to jump back in mine, and it was like, come do this haunted house. I was like,
Aw.
It's like, in that case, we would just only play together at that point. It was
Right,
like, okay, well, I
sure.
guess we'll play on one game, and then we'll finish that out.
Gotcha.
But
But
then we never came back in.
it was really neat being like, hey, I got the bottom, you get the side, you get the left, I get the right,
Yeah.
or like, hey, I'm gonna go on the roof, you get on the down
We
there,
leave each
or
other
like,
messages on the walls.
or like if I'm on the roof, I'm like, I can't see anything from over here, and
Like,
like,
oh,
you go,
that one.
like, underneath, you're like, oh, a little bit right there. Like it was a fun little co-op
Or like,
adventure
I'll do like a broad stroke, and then you come in and do all of like the really bad stains.
on
Gotcha.
the paveway of this house were dirty dog prints, and instantly we were both like, that's the last thing we're cleaning.
They're very cute. They're very cute.
It was fun. It was fun. So I think the co-op experience could be really fun. It gives you a reason also to have like, there's some customizable abilities. You can change your outfit. You can be wearing like a blue suit or a pink suit and all that. And if you're by yourself, it's like you only see your hands, so it's like, what's the deal?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking. I was like, oh, you can buy this new suit. And it was very expensive. And then I was like, the only thing I see is my gloves. So why would I spend this money on a suit that I only see in the recap? Because after you finish cleaning something, they do this really cool thing where they give you like a 1 minute recap of you cleaning it really fast, which is just a lot of fun. And I was like, I guess you'd see the suit there, but like, is it worth like $15,000 for like a suit that you just see? And then we realized multiplayer existed, and we were like, oh yes it is. Oh yes it is.
Take a look at my hot pink power wash outfit.
Says
Let's
a lot,
go.
which says a lot about me that by myself I didn't care, but if someone else was gonna see me, oh my goodness,
This is what I'm doing now.
Thank you for telling me what the money is used for in that game, because I had I didn't even know that there. Yeah, I never got to the point where you could spend money.
That's another mistake I made, which is why it was taking me so long to do the playground thing, is because you could be getting yourself like better nozzles and
Oh yeah, you can upgrade
and
stuff.
soap
Better
that helps
guns.
you clean quicker,
Yeah.
and all types of stuff, which
Oh,
I
yeah.
just didn't know about.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I did buy them, but I couldn't figure out how to use them. That was my problem.
So yeah, I feel like the soap wasn't as effective as I would have. Okay.
Yeah.
Also, I pressure wash, so I was like putting the soap down and then leaving it there and then coming back and rinse. And that's not how you're supposed to use the soap. Like if you're washing glass, they just want you to keep using the soap until the glass is clean. And I was like,
Yeah.
because I was using it like real soap.
You were taking the simulation a step further.
I was like, okay, well, wait 20 minutes and then I'll come back.
Go get a sandwich.
And by then it will have broken down the more intense grime. Like, oh no.
So I was telling you guys, I ended up doing the side missions. I have some special missions, which are, so one of them was the Marslander. but you actually are on Mars
That's good.
cleaning it.
Yeah.
Because that makes sense.
Love it.
They sent you out there.
Yeah, they sent you out here, exactly, with a whole lot of water to do this. But the fun thing was that, like I said, there was a secret hatch, but you could only find that if you looked at the floor and you saw the alien footprints going over to a secret hatch, and you had to clean off the Martian dust on the
Nice.
secret hatch.
That's cute.
It was very cute.
There was like a train one that seems pretty, like the
Oh,
special
yes.
ones.
Yes,
There
there
was a fun
was.
train. There
Yep.
was like not Mother Goose, the big
Oh,
shoe.
the little house was cute. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, we did one where we
Nursery
cleaned
rhyme.
the fairy tale boot
Yeah.
house.
The old woman that lives in the shoe.
Old
Yes.
woman
Yeah.
who lives in the shoe.
Yes, there was that one, and then also they have challenges as well. They have a time trial, so if you have to clean something in a specific amount of time,
Right.
and if you do it really well, you get a gold medal
Oh,
or
that's
silver, or bronze. Or you can also do it another way, which it measures the amount of water you use in order to clean it.
So-
you were talking about that.
So I ran into an ethical quandary
Yes.
with this game, which I didn't think I was going to, but of course I did.
Of course.
And it was not in the game, but I love they put that in there. The idea of like, if my job is being a power washer, and am I hooking up, whose water am I hooking up into? And if I'm hooking up into my client's water, then I have to be very particular about how I'm using this water, make sure I'm using it effectively. Because I know in game, I was not. I just had
Oh,
that
no.
auto button
La,
down
la,
the whole
la,
time.
la,
It was
la,
spraying
la, la,
everywhere.
la.
I mean, look, I also watered the plants while I was there and all that,
sure,
you know,
of
with the
course.
high grade pressure wash. But I was like, but okay, if I'm going to charge someone money for this, then I'm going to charge them for the water.
Well, you're not
Or
charging
the-
them for the water. The city's charging.
Well, I mean,
for
they're
the
going
water,
to
but
pay.
they're
for,
going to be billed.
They're
going to
pay for your service and for the billing.
Yeah.
But that billing is however long it takes. It's an open-ended
Yeah.
number, which
Yeah,
seems
yeah.
like a horrible business.
Some pressure
Model.
washers have a tank on their car and they come
Correct.
with their own water.
Right. But that's a lot of water. That was my
a lot
other
of
idea. I'm like, how much water did I bring? How big is my van? Because I've been going for 3 straight hours.
I was going to say,
The
pressure
water
washing-
waste here.
Pressure washing actually does take a lot less water than you think because it is a high pressure nozzle.
It's moving fast.
It's moving fast. So even though it looks like a lot of water, it really isn't all that much. If you want to take it into account, like how much
Gotcha.
you think it should be. But yeah, I actually really enjoyed that little challenge because I thought the exact same thing as Troy when I was doing it. I was like, man, this is a lot of water.
There's a drought in California.
I just don't even care. I'm just going for it.
Yeah.
Oh man, I got that one little grime right there. I'm just gonna sit on it for about 3 minutes until it goes away.
Not changing nozzles.
not
Can't
at
be
all.
bothered to hit R1 twice.
Exactly. No.
Which makes me think that in this scenario, the client's paying for the bill
Yeah.
in the fiction of it.
Absolutely. But yeah, I thought that was cool in that little challenge. I didn't do one of those because I know how I cleaned, so it was not going to
Like,
happen.
nah.
But
No,
I did do a time trial, and I did. You could clean like a little dirt bike.
Oh, that's cute.
Was
Yeah,
one of
yeah.
the
I
trials.
did the dirt bike.
Yeah, that was one of the trials, and I was like, well, this won't take that long. And it really didn't. Like, the first time I did it, I got a bronze. That's fine. But the gold was like, this is actually, you have to, like, book it. And there's some hard-to-reach things that are in there that are just like...
There's some angles you
yeah,
gotta
there's some
hit,
angles
yeah.
you got to hit. And so I had to... I think I did it, like, 4 or 5 times in order to get the golds. But I had to realize, all right, this is how I get to get this angle. This is what I'm doing to this angle. And yeah, I think that was a lot of fun. I cannot imagine having time trials on larger levels, though.
Yeah, I imagine it would be fun on a bike, but if it was like one of the houses and then you got like a silver, you'd be like,
Yikes.
grrr.
Because
No,
you're just
thank
missing
you.
like one little spot on this
Yeah.
huge house, and
Exactly.
you're like, I can't find you.
Yeah.
I did have a bit of that doing the regular game where you're just like, and they're like 99% done. And I was like, what am I missing? And then it's like windowsill. You have to go through every windowsill. And then you're like, this looks spotless to me, but sure, I'll just spray water at it until you're happy.
And they do have a little feature. You press a button and it'll like
It does, it
highlight
does.
the things you're missing. But even that sometimes is like hard to find. If the piece is small enough, you're just like,
Yeah.
I don't see anything blinking.
I
Yeah.
had that problem with the second part and the first one. Like, it's 99% done. There was a tiny piece of grime on one of the grill in the front or whatever.
You're like, it's a
And
shadow.
I was like, I don't understand what I'm like. It's 99. I'm walking around this thing. I like the ethical quandary you had about the water. I had that about spraying water at the window seams on that grill. I was like, you would literally never take a power washer and then turn it to
Right.
the highest setting possible and then go along the seams of a window on a car. I was like, I don't know what's happening here, but I'll do it.
Cheryl,
Sure.
the windows are leaking by themselves. I think the windows are crying. They're possessed.
the
Cheryl.
haunted.
What's happening?
Yeah, it's like you guys are saying, this is a lot of fun, but this is a game that you know exactly what it is.
Yes.
If you're not
Yes.
enjoying yourself on the first level, you will not enjoy yourself on the second, third, whatever, because there's just more
There's
of that.
something really, really satisfying about taking a long time to do something that a little bit by little bit and then finishing that.
It's also like I agree with Joe. I enjoy pressure washing, but sometimes I don't have anything in the house to pressure wash. So like this was a nice like outlet for that.
Nice.
So I mean, you can over pressure wash things. It's a waste of water. So this is a
waste
nice
of
way to
water.
experience pressure washing without the water waste.
The water waste.
Agreed.
Look at that.
Agreed.
Beautiful.
Well, thank you guys for doing this Adventurers Club.
Yay!
Next month, we are going to do something a little bit differently. We will inform you guys next week about what that is.
Yep.
We're very excited. It's gonna be cool.
It will.
Heck yeah.
And so, so join us again in 2 months for what our next game is going to be. And now that brings us to the news. So the news this week is going to be Pokemon Scarlet and Violet released this week, in case you guys didn't know. But it set a new record for Nintendo. It is the fastest selling game in Nintendo history across all of its systems.
Wow.
So this isn't like, it's just for the Switch or no. Across everything, this is the fastest selling game. It has sold 10 million copies in just 3 days.
Wow. They picked a good time to release it near the holidays.
They did. And almost half of those were in Japan alone. Japan accounted for 4 million of those units that were sold.
Oh, I wasn't going to get this, but I mean, if everyone else has it.
Well, that's the thing. Okay, so that's the other thing. That's the quandary that a lot of people are in, because this game has a lot of glitches, a lot of bugs. It is not in a great place as far as that type of stuff goes.
I am one of those people that I don't really care about the mechanics. I didn't like the battling. I never really did it much anyway. Unless you had to battle other people in the game. Nope. I just run around and look at Pokemon, catch Pokemon. I don't care. There's a lot of bugs in this game. And there's a lot of things in this game that I haven't had to deal with since like the N64 level of how things look.
You mean like bug types? Like
I wish I was talking about bug type.
There's so
Pokemon,
many
but
Caterpies.
I'm-
It's filled with Caterpies. Like there's
Glitcher P.
There's just a lot. There's a lot in the game that's perfectly fine. And the thing is, I think going from Sword and Shield and going from Arceus to this, it feels graphically like many steps backwards, and it feels like the way it plays, like the actual the technical aspect of it feels like steps backwards.
Is Arceus in the same realm though? I thought it was like its own genre.
Arceus is the same kind of open world thing. They just don't have a battle system the way that this Pokemon. It wasn't a regular battle. Like you would throw Pokeballs at things. That was the idea, was to throw Pokeballs at stuff.
In my brain, I thought Arceus was like its own spin-off. Like you have like your classic Pokemon games where they come out in duos, and I thought
Right.
Arceus was like, we're gonna do our own thing. Okay,
Arceus was its own thing also because it came out at a different point of year. Like an actual new Pokemon title comes out every 3 years. So and the cycles in between those 2 years, there's a Pokemon title that comes out, but it's normally a remake or it's like a half game.
So really, we're waiting on like Arceus 2. Whoever's
I
the
cannot
team making
wait
that,
until there's another Arceus
not
game,
the
but
teams
yes.
that are making the.
This is Game Freak. This
Gotcha.
is the thing is, I'm still enjoying the game. As much crap as everyone wants to talk about it, I'm still having a great time because I like open world games where you just run around and there's Pokemon there.
Cool.
Yeah.
You can see them in the grass. You can see them running around, and they make little faces and stuff. They're cute. They make adorable sounds. The Pokemon look phenomenal. It's like it's the environment.
This is kind of like the WWE 2K of Pokemon games. If you remember WWE releases, that release was the most ridiculous thing ever.
They were so blocky.
They were so blocky. There were so many glitches, and
the environment.
that's basically what this is.
I feel like this keeps happening to AAA games. I feel like we may need to adjust our expectations for either what we get in the game or the timeline for the game.
Yes.
Because I feel like we're still getting the same schedule for video game releases, but the scope of games is so much larger than it used to be. It used to be like Pokemon is this style game, and that is what we're making. And now it's like, but you can also breed, and you can also make curry, and you can also there's all of these other systems.
Now.
Yeah, and it's open world, and it's like we expect that from games now, for them to be massive and all inclusive, and every game is also a life sim.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're going to do that, I feel like the time frame has to also match that, because you can only do so much in a certain amount of time.
Exactly.
So I feel
I'm
like
gonna put out,
until we adjust one or the other, that we're just going to keep getting buggy games.
I'm going to put out a wild guess and say that the team that was making Scarlet and Violet just took the Arceus like engine
No.
and put it in?
Not at all.
No.
No.
It's
Or like
It's a
they
totally
liked
different
the
type of game.
idea
No.
and then added it?
It's so the team that did Arceus is a different team. Like
That's
a
what I
different,
mean.
A different developer, different everything.
No, but they
So-
probably took the engine from the last.
They took the engine
Pokemon.
from the last Pokemon game, but they still had to build most things from the ground up because the last Pokemon game, as open world as it wasn't a full open world. It was. It had areas,
Zones, yeah.
and zones, and you still loaded into each of those zones by
They're
going
big,
right.
but-
Oh
right.
yeah.
Whereas
I forgot
this
about
and
that.
in
That
the
was
other game
Sword
also,
and Shield.
Yes.
yeah, Sword and Shield. In that game also, when you saw Pokemon's pattern of it walking in the wild, it didn't interact with you at all until you interacted with it. You unlike Arceus, unlike this game, if you go near a Pokemon and it recognizes that you have a stronger character in your team, it gets little tears in it or little sweat marks, and it runs away from you because it doesn't want to fight you. But if it's a normally aggressive Pokemon, it doesn't care. They'll run and charge towards you. Whereas in Sword and Shield, they didn't do that. They didn't interact with you, and so there was like
At least not
They
on this
just
scale.
floated,
right, not
Yeah.
not to
and
the
then if
scale,
you
right.
got near them. Yeah.
So there's just a lot more going on in this game. And like systemically, the way the Pokemon Company works and the way Game Freak works and the way Nintendo works is that they have an entire process for how Pokemon continues to stay fresh and new. Pokemon, I think, is their highest. That is the top grossing thing that they have. From what I understand, from what I understand, as far as logos go, like they are just. It crushes everything. So they have toys. They have a cycle of how if they don't put out a new one every 3 years, essentially it kind of upsets their own cycle of what they can sell people and how they can keep making it fresh and new. And, so I feel like a lot of this is just mathematics of how the system works for them to make money. But I mean, like, this game is selling so well. And when if you looked at this game and compared it to Sword and Shield, which I think we all played, Sword and Shield is a beautiful looking game.
and this just isn't.
It's not. And like I'm still having a great time playing it because I don't mind that it's buggy. But
Do you
like,
feel like that's a part of the glitch where they'll like fine tune it and it will be better, or is that just?
Oh no, this should never have been a complete open world where it's just one giant map.
Yeah,
I don't feel like
and
that's
that's
always necessary.
Yeah, and also this is the Switch. This is a not hugely powerful system.
Well, on purpose.
Yeah, on purpose,
Right.
exactly. So, and this is now what, 5 years old now at this point, the system. So it's definitely, I think, showing its age with how this is running.
This game looks. Well, I keep comparing it to Breath of the Wild.
Yeah.
Breath of the Wild came out when the Switch came out, and that game in an open world style looks better than this game does.
But it also has a lot less going on
right,
for it.
but it's got so that's the thing though, is like it's got a lot less of things constantly everywhere interacting with you as a character.
That's exactly what it is.
So you have large stretches where you can fly over things and whatever. And I'm sure this game, once the Pokemon that I have will let me fly, I'll be able to fly over things too. And like, I don't imagine this playing very well. And I like it. I think the game's really fun, and I think I'm shocked that this is the fastest selling Pokemon game because I thought Arceus was like a work of art. I thought that game was like the most next level way of playing, because that for me that was way more fun than battling Pokemon. I just want to throw Pokeballs at them and be like, yay, one for the decks and move on, let it go, have fun, be free. There's just something about this one I just can't believe I can't believe it's selling so fast.
Well, hey,
with how many people are complaining about
that's
it.
almost all pre-orders though. So that's the thing though. Like, you don't really know how a game plays in the first 3 days for the most part. So
especially as video games get more and more expensive, I'm surprised that this is still happening.
Exactly. I mean, hey, they sold a lot of Switches over the pandemic. They sold lot of Switches.
True.
I think they sold an additional 3 million units, I think, or something like that. So
yeah, it was a while.
Yeah.
And Pokemon is their flagship. They've never
Yep.
had like a game that's had large problems, so maybe they'll fix it.
Yeah, we'll see.
Because we were talking about Cyberpunk and Bethesda. So we're talking about CD Projekt Red and Bethesda, and we're like, their games are so good that we expect them to be broken when they come out. And then like we know they're going to fix them. But Pokemon's never been that. It would be sad to add one more to the list of like, oh, I guess I won't play that game for 6 months because I know it's not going to be done when it comes out.
Exactly. Yeah. Hopefully not. We'll see how it goes though. And then good news for you Overwatch 2 fans out there, as Blizzard is aiming to rehaul their Battle Pass system for Season 3. Season 3, they haven't announced when it's going to be starting yet, but Season 2, I believe, is starting up just this week coming up. So that follows the same pattern, probably about another 2 months. And they haven't said what they're going to be doing, but they plan on making it more rewarding and varied, because right now, a lot of the challenges that they have, the weekly challenges, are all kind of not fun to do. From what I've heard and from what I've read, Troy, you would know much more than I would.
I mean, they're pretty much just like play the game.
Yeah.
Like play a certain classes, get enough damage, get enough healing, block enough damage. They're pretty generic, I guess.
Gotcha.
I guess I've enjoyed them because I could not care about the challenges and just play Overwatch for the fun of it and then end up knocking them out anyway. Which is why I've been like, that's fine.
It's fine, yeah. I feel like they're going to be doing, because there was such a good reception for the stuff that they're doing with Call of Duty, when they changed their battle pass system where you can like choose which ones you want to go to. I feel like that's what they're going to be doing. I feel like they're going to go to that.
Are they getting rid of their $20 skins?
I don't know.
Oh man,
I don't know.
Ridiculous.
They have one of my favorite characters, and they have a mime skin, and they have a mime like emote where they're just pulling a rope forever.
Oh, who is it?
It's Moira.
Oh,
and like I can't get it. It's too much. I can't. It's just. Oh, it's so sad.
Boo.
It does it like I don't know. I don't like the reality where like only rich people are gonna be able to have the ultimate Overwatch experience, because like we're kind of their genuine demographic, because we have money to spend on video games, and when we're adults, and like we're not like rolling in cash, but we got spending money, and we enjoy the video games. And the fact that you like can't I'm not saying that you like would not be able to afford your food if you bought it. But like the fact that it's really too expensive for us, like it's an unreasonable amount of money to spend on a skin.
I can't reasonably say I want to spend $20 on that. And what's even sadder for me is like what I do want to spend money on is the battle pass. I'm like, okay, you know what? $10 every 2 months, 2.5 months.
Sure.
Like I like Overwatch enough that I can do that. So it's like I'm already paying this, and I just wish there was a way.
Yeah.
It's such a stark change from you don't have to pay us anything as long as you already have Overwatch. You can unlock all of the content, to you can only unlock a fifth of the content and you have to pay us $10. Like I feel like if this was their eventual goal, they like screw the pooch and roll out, because they should have like
my only thought
spread it out a bit.
my only thought is they have a lot of these legendary costumes that cost real money. I think that they're also going to be content for future battle passes.
Okay.
So like if you buy it now, you'll have it now, and you'll have it when no one else does. But then 3 months from now, maybe it'll be tier 40, and I'll get the Moira Mime skin that I want.
Then there's no excitement in seeing the battle pass. It's just like, what thing have I already seen that is going to be unlockable this month? And I feel like that has much less of a woo than.
I guess we'll see with the changes.
Yeah, we'll
they're
see.
making.
We'll see what they do.
And it's going to be more than battle pass stuff they do. Like there's a new character coming out, I think next month with this new battle pass, and then
I don't even play this game, and I've got like my rebellion hat on. And I'm like, oh, down with the corporation.
Yeah, you're right. You're 100% right.
Oh no, I meant this. I might not be right, and also I have no horse in this race. I feel very strongly about something.
I feel like an
not
Overwatch apologist.
I'm sorry, it's so bad right now, guys.
I'm still playing it. I don't know. You're right. It's fine. It sucks. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
At the end of the day, it's just a video game.
It is. It is. And then finally, though, speaking of Blizzard, Microsoft's acquisition of Activision Blizzard might be getting contested by the United States government. The Federal Trade Commission might file an antitrust lawsuit as soon as next month.
Why? What? They don't trust Microsoft? I don't understand.
Yeah, what does this mean?
Yeah, please.
It's interesting that they are targeting this, because it's not like they're both two of the largest things. It's not like Microsoft's trying to acquire Sony. It's not like it's not like one of those types of huge deals. I mean, this is still a very big deal.
Yes,
I'm not saying it's not, but it's interesting that they would choose this to go after when they have allowed so many other industries to become monopolized over the years.
Oh, so it's anti-competition,
it's an antitrust thing. It's an monopoly type stuff.
So Sony has been doing very well with campaigning in other countries, basically pointing out that it's not good for Blizzard to be owned by Microsoft, and that it gives them far too much of a leg up in an already difficult area of games. It's of developing, of buying companies developers that make games,
and they have bought a lot of other
companies. It's
recently,
very funny coming from Sony,
but they just bought Anthem.
They've bought plenty of fantastic developers as well, but they've just done really well at pointing out that they don't trust that Microsoft will do what they say they're going to do and keep things across platform. And Microsoft has said most of the time they've actually been very like, we're not taking away any games from other systems. Why would we take away money? Why would we take away the ability to make money on your consoles? Like,
but they are still going to have Elder Scrolls 6 is still going to be an exclusive. But your Call of Duties will still be cross-platform.
Right, but the Sony's been pointing out that they stopped saying cross-platform day one. They stopped saying things like that because it most likely will be a 6-month exclusive on an Xbox or on something else.
Yeah, I feel like Sony's been doing the same thing. Like, isn't...
Yeah. Oh, they've all been doing it.
I feel like I agree with Sony, but also I don't necessarily feel like Sony... I agree with you. The pot calling the kettle black kind of thing is if we have all of our small developers are owned by the big developer, we're just going to start seeing the same content over and over and over again. It's just like, hey, what makes the most money? And then we're not going to see like the diverse... library of content that we would like to see.
Yeah.
But on the other side, Activision desperately needs someone to help them.
That's the other thing.
I feel like someone buying them is good for Activision because they need to have someone who is above their CEOs to come in and be like, okay.
No
to all of this. And I feel like Microsoft's been in the game for long enough that they have... I imagine, I have never worked for Microsoft, that Microsoft's HR department is going to go in there and just like dismantle Activision and then come back in and build them. And first, married to someone who really enjoys Overwatch, I would love it if Troy could play Overwatch without the guilt of knowing that that company isn't great to its employees, specifically women.
Yeah,
this
exactly.
all completely reminds me of the same thing with like Fortnite versus Apple. Like it's one of those like,
it's a lot of those types of things. Yeah.
I agree. It's really cruddy what's happening here. You don't get to throw stones from the broken glass.
I wish it was somebody else but you. But then I understand it has to be you because you have the money to do this. So. Yeah, it's definitely interesting because, like we've said, there's been a lot of acquisitions over the last couple of years. Yeah. But none of them have been $69 billion of an acquisition. So I definitely get all of the things that are going on.
They're like, can we just take a look?
Let's
take a quick look. That's a lot of money. We're just going to look.
Exactly. So we'll see where it goes.
Yeah, them buying Double Fine is not the same as them buying Blizzard.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, we'll see where it goes. We'll see what happens. I mean, hey, time's only going to tell. It's not like the leak that it wasn't like, this is 100% going to happen. They're like, well, they could still just not do it. I mean, it is still America. Like, it's still might just be like, it's fine, whatever. But that's all I have for the news. But I do want to talk about what we did experience today, because we are recording this on a Friday, the day after our American Thanksgiving, which has been a historical day for all of us, or at least our group, because we have done a Friendsgiving for, about 15 years now?
Oh, yeah. That's been a long time.
It's been a very long time. So, because the last 2 years, we didn't really do one.
Yeah.
And so,
COVID. Yeah.
And so this year, we actually did it again, but we did a step further where we actually rented a park pavilion.
We did. Normally we would just come and squat.
Yeah.
We would throw blankets down and make it work. But we throw $20 down? I don't know how much it was.
I don't know how much it
was. We were extra bougie this year.
We were
like, make it official.
That's right. If somebody else is in that spot, this is ours. Get out.
Somebody else was in that spot.
Yeah,
they were flying drones. It was very impressive.
Yeah. Really?
I was like, "Hi, sorry, we have a reservation for this pavilion. That's all right." And he was like, 5 minutes. And I was like, "Okay, cool." He said, 5 minutes, Mom. And then I walked off.
and if it isn't very obvious what we do for Friendsgiving, just like Thanksgiving, we all come together with food. Although for Friendsgiving, sometimes it's a mixture of food and leftovers.
Yes.
And we all have a smorgasbord, we potluck style, and we eat and drink and have good times and play games.
We do. And this all kind of started. This was before my time, before I came here. But what I came to understand is that because we all have our Thanksgivings with our families, we always get sent home with too much food for us to just eat. So, hey, why not get together and try to get rid of it.
we have Thanksgiving with our birth families, then we have Thanksgiving with our chosen family.
Exactly.
And we all bring and it's actually kind of cool to see everyone's like traditions. We talked about stuffing earlier. It's neat to have just like a bunch of different stuffings and then be like, oh, this is how my family does it and this is how we do it, or like my family's big on casseroles for obvious reasons. And but like some other people are like, oh, I've never had a casserole, and it's like, oh, they're hard to explain. Just try it. It's not gonna sound good, but like try it first.
Though.
Yeah, it's so good. So good.
Exactly. And so yeah, we did that today, and it was a lot of. I mean, hey, it's been a while since we've done that.
It
like
has.
just in general, like even outside of Friendsgiving, like it's just been a while since we've all been able to get together and do that type of thing.
Felt real good. There was a ball.
There was.
I don't know when's the last time I saw a ball in the wild just bouncing around. I lost my mind.
We played some kickball back and forth with a
Yep.
soccer ball. We played some hit ball back and forth with volleyball. We played some throw ball back and forth with football.
And you even brought some beanbag
I
balls.
did bring some beanbags. We fun fact about our friend group and funner fact about the Taste of Dragons in general is all of us can juggle,
Yes.
which is a weird thing to say out loud. So yeah, there was a lot of juggling.
There was.
We all have varying degrees of juggling ability. Some of us are extremely talented. Some of us can just barely juggle, but all of us are jugglers.
It was pretty great. Every time there's a new friend that comes along for Friendsgiving, they're usually like, "Oh, cool, someone can juggle." And then like literally one of the other people will walk over and start stealing them and start juggling. Oh, they know how to juggle too. That's really cool. And then there's 4 or 5 of us standing around just like snagging the things from each other, like trying to juggle. And they're like, "Does everybody know how to juggle?"
Yes, we do.
That's exactly what it was.
It's the type of thing where if everyone knows how to juggle, you're just going to learn how to juggle, right?
It's true. Yeah. Absolutely. But yeah, it was interesting because like we were saying, we had real games instead of video games.
Yep.
But
What's
then
that?
Then we
What is
talked
that?
about video games.
We
while
did.
We were
Yeah.
playing those real games.
We were.
We got some good volleyball on. We had some teams going. All 3 of y'all have some good serves, I must say. Some
was fun.
volleys.
Yeah, there was some volleys, some
was
actual
very-
legitimate volleys.
It was very hot.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, we live in Florida for you guys that don't know.
Yeah,
And it's warm here.
We very quickly realized that we're not made to play volleyball.
We're
in
also
Florida
not
for
20
very long.
anymore.
We are not.
Yeah.
Why does my right lung hurt so much?
My left one's doing fine. Get in there, man.
Get in there.
After a couple of misses of the volleyball and it hitting like the elbow instead of the forearm instead of the hand, it was like, oh, that stings.
Yeah.
That's gonna leave a mark.
We got to hit that soccer ball and it like bruises our toe. We're like, oh, this is why we just do the video games. All these real sports are ouchy.
Yeah, Joe and I, we were driving home and I was like, it's a good thing we got the next 2 days off. Man, we
We
gonna be
needed to
feeling
recover
it.
from our 20 minutes of real life gameplay.
Hey. We had 20 separate minutes multiple times.
That's right.
We got
It's
some
true.
collective.
Spread out.
We did.
You climbed a big old tree,
I
Amanda.
was trying to be supportive. We have a friend who's very much into climbing trees. He'll climb anything.
He will. Facts.
And I was like, I'm going to be a supportive friend. I'll climb a bit of this tree. I'm not good with heights anymore. When we started doing this, we both would have been up in that tree. And I would have been like, let's jump down from this tree. And everyone would have been like, no, that's dangerous. And we would have been like, bah. It's true. And I got like up on, I don't know, I would have been 5 feet off the ground. I was not baby.
No, you were up higher. The area you were in that tree is at least 8 to 9 feet. At the very least, 8 to 9 feet. And if you take account that you were standing
I
at
was
that
standing,
point,
but it's just I'm not good with heights anymore.
That's okay.
So
it's all good. You
So
don't have
should
to-
I cancel our
scary.
skydiving, or my surprise
yes.
skydiving
yes,
that I planned for you?
Yes,
Oh,
yes.
God.
I'm okay if we go like rock climbing or something because I'm like looking at the wall. I'm not looking down. But yes. No skydiving. But it was really wonderful to get all of our friends together, especially for something we haven't done in a little while, especially for something we haven't done since COVID.
Mm-hmm.
It was in the spirit of Thanksgiving. I definitely felt really grateful to have all of my friends around and to be able to do fun things, to be able to eat food and have that experience, which
Old
we haven't had in a bit.
traditions.
So
Reflamed.
grateful for our friends at the time, but also grateful for our podcast and grateful for our podcast listeners, all y'all, because we wouldn't be able to do this without you listening on the other end. I mean, we could, but we shouldn't.
We can just keep looking. It's at 0 again this week, guys. Let's do it again. Maybe this is it. This is
Keep
it.
this train going.
Yeah.
See, if you're listening, it's a podcast.
Yes.
If you're not listening, it's just weird.
It's a diary.
Video game friend diary.
Yeah.
It is. But yeah, we had a lot of fun, and I hope you guys all had fun that are listening to this. We hope you guys had a great time wherever you were. And if you want to share your experience with us, please do. Let us know on the
Or
Discord.
pictures? Come on.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. Pictures.
Show us some,
Especially pictures
Thanksgiving.
of food.
Yes, and if you want to see ours, we'll post ours on
I can post them.
on the podcast discussion as well.
I don't have any good pictures. Joe's got some good pictures.
She
We
does.
might have
Good
some
pictures.
dingy leftover pics, but we'll share. Oh, leftover sandwiches. We got it. Never mind.
Yes.
Boom.
Rolling it back. We're okay.
Yes.
Yes, absolutely. But that will bring us to the end of this week's episode. Everyone, thank you so much for joining.
My plate's empty.
That means that you're full.
We've eaten it all.
It's time to
have-
take a nap.
Oh my goodness, yes.
We had so much turkey. It's time to take a nap.
Turkey nap.
Nah, I'm gonna have some more turkey after this.
Yeah.
And then a
happening.
turkey nap.
Then there you go. There you go.
It's going to push you over the edge right there. But yeah, if you want to catch up with us, please get in contact with us on Discord. I believe we're still on Twitter.
Till it's gone.
Until it's gone. We'll see when that is. But yeah, please interact with us. Let us know what's going on in your neck of the woods. But yeah, as always, my name is Brian.
My name is Troy.
Amanda.
And I'm Joe.
And we are
The Taste of Dragons.
Have a great week, everyone.
Taste that.
So for the first sandwich, what is your ideal
Stuffing, mayonnaise, that's what
Mayonnaise.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
Because usually you put gravy on the stuffing, so it's kind of
cranberry
supplementing
sauce?
that.
Yeah or nay?
Nice.
Maybe some cheese.
Taste of Dragons Gaming Podcast, a podcast for everyone's taste.